calm down. There are 613 mitzvahs, which means there are 613 ways to misbehave. And we all do. You did that one, I did this one. Together, we violate all of them.
This video was made to wake up many of my lost brothers and sisters who are being misled by Manis Friedman. Although he has rabbinical credentials, he's far from the truth. He's who our sages deemed there will be many who mislead the masses in the end of days. Sota 48b. Manis, for one, doesn't cite any sources when he states certain things that are crucial to Jewish lifestyle, and has even made statements directly contradicting Chazal and our holy rabbis. Just before you claim that what I'm doing is Lashon Hara, first educate yourselves and read the laws of Lashon Hara by the Chafetz Chaim, where it states that it only applies to Amitecha. In this case, Manis as a traducer of the Torah does not fall into this category. Now, what exactly makes Manis so dangerous? Well, for one, sometimes he will make statements that sound like the truth, and as an experienced speaker, ignorant people aren't able to catch on to the reality of the situation. Therefore, one who wants to guard his soul should stay far away from him. So in this video, I'll showcase you why you need to stop listening to Manis Friedman and get your friends to as well. The format will be as follows. I will show a clip of what he is saying and then begin to explain why he is wrong. Watch until the very end because you'll never believe the things he says. Share and like this video so more Jews can wake up.
The reason we go to hell when we die is because we want to be with our friends. If you go to heaven, who are you going to talk to?
That's true. No one in my life is going to heaven.
You know, Christians are afraid of hell. So first of all, what is Gehenna? What is it? Oh, what it is, you burn like a barbecue. You roast on a fire on the. What are we talking about here? On the neshama? Your neshama goes to hell and burns. How do you burn on the neshama?
He states that we go to hell because we want to be with our friends. Likewise, the biggest rabbis in history have utterly shivered at the potentiality of going to hell. Chazal in Brachot 57b state, the fires of Gehenna are 60 times hotter than on this earth. The Rashi Chochmah in chapter 13, Shar HaYirah, states that the screams from Gehenna go from one end of the universe to the other. Likewise, the legendary King David states in Psalms 16, "Please don't send my soul to Sheol," which is a reference for Gehenna, and don't let me be sent to the nether pit. So for Manis to sugarcoat and make it seem like a joke in front of a naive audience puts him in the category of an instigator of sin, because now people are going to take the Torah less seriously. Also, his feeble attempt to distort reality by saying, how can we burn a non-corporeal soul with fire, may seem logical, but in reality it's not. The reason he thinks this way is that he's comparing and contrasting two elements which don't exist on the same plane. But if we take a soul with spiritual fire outside of space and time, you can feel it in full.
So if everybody suddenly became religious, would that mean Mashiach is coming? No, that would mean we're really in trouble. Because when people become religious, it's not good for anybody.
This clip speaks for itself. As a Torah-observant Jew, this is enough to stop watching him and believing anything he says.
In modern times, the most convenient way to cover your hair is with a wig. If the wig happens to look better than your hair, bonus. If you're going gray and you don't want to be gray. So one of the things you'll notice is that there are no old women in this community. Men are all gray, but you won't find a single gray woman here because the wigs are great. Now, the fact that the wig looks good is a benefit. We're not trying to not look good. Beauty is not something you hide. Beauty is meant to be in the eyes of the beholder. So you don't hide beauty, you hide what is private. Beauty is not private.
He states wigs are a great way to cover your hair, despite the fact that virtually all wig sources come from idolatry, and that it is in direct contra to the purpose of covering hair in the first place. Isn't the whole point to distinguish that a married woman is taken and not subject to the public? Now let's see what some of the greatest poskim have to say about this topic.
אלה שלבשות ועד נוכרית, משנים את החמש שזה מותר. לא רוצים להאמין שזה אסור. אומרים להם שאסור. כך פסוק הגאונים, עשו חרם, עשו ככה. ויקו גאוני עולם, הגאון וילנה, הגאון יעבץ, הגאון חתם סופר, מערס חיות, עוד כמה גדולים, כולם כתבו שזה אסור.
Now, regarding beauty and the fact that we are all trying to look good in public is the exact opposite of what our Torah and tznius values teaches us. The entire point of modesty is to cover your body because it's private and the belonging of your husband only. The Gentile culture is to expose beauty and show the world everything. Facial beauty may be public, but the beauty of a woman's body is totally private.
So we're not trying to get to heaven. In fact, we don't want to get to heaven because you got to die to get there. Not a good deal. What we want is to bring God down to earth. That's what happened at Mount Sinai. God came down to the mountain to tell us what he needs, not what we need.
What he states is purely absurd and his own opinion only. He claims that we don't want to get to heaven, when in reality the forefront of our Jewish belief system is the firm knowledge of reward and punishment, heaven and hell, which is the 11th principle of faith. Religion and mitzvot outside of the concept of reward and punishment makes no sense at all. Chazal states in Pirkei Avot, chapter 4, verse 16, this world is like a corridor leading to the next world. Likewise, Yehuda ben Tema says in Avot 5:20, the brazen-faced are destined for the Gehenna and the bashful are destined for Gan Eden, another reference for the world to come. The Rambam, which is the biggest halachic authority in the past 1,000 years, states in Hilchot Shuvah, chapter 3, Chelek 6, the following individuals have no portion in the world to come, and proceeds to list them, such as heretics, atheists, traducers of the Torah, and those that cause the many to sin. And for biblical references, the Torah states numerous times, foremost in Dvarim chapter 8, verse 16, I am testing you to do good for you in your end. As I'll explain in the Gemara, what does your end mean? The world to come. So we see that the belief and knowledge in an eternal world is at the forefront of every kosher Jew's mind.
Calm down. There are 613 mitzvahs, which means there are 613 ways to misbehave. And we all do. You did that one, I did this one, together we violate all of them. That's why there's 14 million Jews in the world, to make sure that we cover every Avera. So just because you don't do that Avera doesn't mean nobody should.
This clip speaks for itself, belittling the commandments of Hashem and making it seem like it's nothing.
First of all, eternal damnation, not possible. There's no purpose. Eternal damnation means you're not getting better. Forever. What's the point? To suffer forever? That's just a cruel, unacceptable. No. So that idea you gotta toss.
He states here that there isn't or cannot be eternal damnation or hell. In the Gemara Rosh Hashanah 17a, it states numerous people who will descend to Gehenna and never rise. Likewise, in Rashi Chochmah chapter 13, Shar HaYirah, it states that the 7th level, called Tachti Eretz, is a chamber where those who descend never ascend. In the Rambam Hilchot Shuvah chapter 3, teaching verse 6, it states that people who have no portion in the world to come, rather their souls are cut off and they are judged forever for their great wickedness and sins. Also in Daniel chapter 12, verse 2, Daniel Hanavi, many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth will awaken, some to eternal life, others to shame, to everlasting abhorrence. Also in the Zohar Parsha Truma, page 150b, it states the same thing about eternal hell. So we see that there's many sources for eternal hell throughout tons of literature written throughout the years, rabbinical writings. So for Manis to come and claim that there's no eternal hell, he has no source for anything he's saying, it's just merely his opinion. I want to state that this is but a few sources to how wrong and corrupt Manis Friedman is, and you should encourage everyone you know to stop listening to him and share this video. The issue with what he says is that a lot of the times it's part of science and psychology that what we listen to manifests and seeps into our consciousness. Now, many of you may think he's a decent speaker and he's relaxing, but what he's saying is very contrary to Torah ideals. If you wanted to become a therapist or a psychologist, let him go do that. But the fact that he poses as an Orthodox Chabad rabbi is where the danger sets in, because someone like that cannot be contradicting the writings of holy rabbis whose words we live from, who have carried us to where we are today. Share this video to many others and the merit you will receive will be tremendous, because he is one of the top Erev Rav in our generation.